Hey guys, what's up? I'm super excited to be shooting a video for you today because it's not an unbiased gear review. It's rather something really interesting that I found on a recent vacation. I literally just got back very early this afternoon from Sao Paulo, Brazil, where I was visiting my in-laws. It was a super cool time, had a lot of fun. There's a few places I always go to whenever I go down to Brazil. Places like the Galeria Juhaki, which is this kind of multi-story mall of nothing but like tattoo shops and metal t-shirt stores and metal CD shops, rock and roll CD shops. There's also stuff for like skaters and guys who are into rap and stuff like that. But it's a really cool place that I love to go to that's in Sao Paulo. One of the other places that I love going to is this kind of district called Teodoro Sampaio, which is their musical instrument district. So, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a stretch of about 3 blocks that's just music store after music store after music store. All sorts of different guitars, vastly overpriced, but that's more due to the import taxes that Brazil imposes upon anything coming in. It's ridiculous. Like, you'll go into a store, find a Squire or a Court that you're paying so much money for, it feels like you're buying a Fender or a Gibson. So it's that kind of setup, which is very unfortunate. The good news is that there's a lot of really cool stuff to be found that is made in Brazil. Tajima still makes a lot of great stuff down there. There's a lot of great custom shops down there. Literally all sorts of great stuff that you can find down there. One such product that I happened upon in the very last store that I went in, which was this place called New Jazz, I found 2 pedals which looked very similar to a Boss HM-2. And one of them I plugged in and it sucked. It had like a problem with it, and it sounded kind of sort of like an HM-2, but it just had enough of a noise issue that it really wasn't worth my time to even have it plugged in more than a minute. But there was one pedal that I got there that I was like, fuck, I'm taking this home. It's so good. Because it sounded, to my ears at that point, like an HM-2. And we're going to actually pair it up with a real HM-2 a little bit later on in the video. I have not done so yet because I want to see if my theory is correct. But basically, I want to show you guys this. This is from Oliver. It is the HM-20 heavy metal pedal. Looks very similar to a Boss HM-2, and I asked a couple questions online. I did a minute bit of research myself, and basically what I can gather is these were made in Brazil. It was actual Boss HM-2 licensed circuitry. So they basically took the schematic for a real HM-2, licensed it to Oliver to make them, because at the time Boss couldn't actually get their products into Brazil, or at least that's what I've read and that's what I've heard. At some point, Boss was able to figure out how to get their own products in, their actual real deal heavy metal HM-2 into Brazil, and like all these different pedals that Oliver was making with licensed circuitry were just kind of phased out at that point. I really dug this thing, and now I'm going to show you why I dug this thing. So now let's show you what this thing is capable of. So, got it plugged in. I've got your standard, typical Boss HM-2 setting. Everything fucking dimed. It's going into a Kemper profile that is a Marshall JCM 900. It is the clean profile that I have. I've just touched up the gain on it just a little bit, so it's got just a little bit of crunch. So that's what we're working with. And now this is what we're working with. Still plenty of fucking noise on there. But man, dude, that sounds fucking gnarly. Sounds really, really harsh. Sounds really fucking brutal. To me, initial impression, I mean, don't you think that kind of captures that fucking brutal, old school Swedish death metal tone? But wait, let's see how it fares compared to the real fucking deal. Oops, let me fix that all the way up. So I don't know about you guys, but I think that is pretty goddamn close. Too close to tell, honestly. I love the HM-2. It's one of my favorite tones I've ever heard. I feel like this Brazilian version of the HM-2 really captures that tone really fucking nicely. I am super surprised that I came across this thing, and wow, that's really one of those like music store diamond in the rough buried treasure kind of finds right there, man. This is a pretty fucking kick-ass pedal, if I do say so. Even though it's not an unbiased gear review, we're still going to do a beer review because brought it home from Brazil, and now I also brought the beer home from Brazil. This is from Baden-Baden. It is their chocolate beer. Oh, super rich, very creamy. You can definitely taste kind of a milk chocolatiness to it instead of a dark chocolate. It's really nice. It's not the best chocolate tasting beer I've ever had, but it is definitely not bad. Really good stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in. So I'm back from vacation. I'm going to get crack-a-lacking on all this shit that I've got built up. More stuff to come.